You're listening to Readers and Writers, and today we are talking young authors, young book authors. They're writing for young children with RockHill, which, you know, James, Athena, this is a new venture for you guys, kind of breaking into the young readers kind of section. So this is like super exciting. We have a fabulous guest today. We have Gregg with us today. So, you know, James, what made you want to jump into young readers?
It's always about the story. It's always about the story. When people send us their manuscripts and their submissions, we always decide not so much on the category or the genre, but on the strength of the story they're sending. And Gregg is an accomplished writer. He has several books out already. And for us, it's a new genre, but his story was so intriguing that we decided down that road we shall go. So, Gregg, tell us a little bit about your story. Tell us a little bit about who you are, and let's get this thing rolling.
Well, I was born in Chicago and moved out to Lake County, Illinois in '73. And that's when my dad used to have a bookshelf of science fiction books. And I used to read those things all the time. You know, he had Edgar Rice Burroughs and all those. So I guess it was only natural that I started wanting to write stories like I was reading. And so then Star Wars came out, and that's when I really started, you know, I started writing stories like Star Wars. And when you're a young writer, you imitate, and then you go on from there. But then you learn and you grow and you become a better writer. So I'm very happy and glad. I've been doing it ever since. My first book was published in 2001. So I've been doing this a long, long time. And I'm really happy that you picked my book. I really feel lucky about it.
That is what happens. A lot of the times is actual fan fiction that we write.
Yeah.
Because we know how to see things that the original writer didn't see, you know, and you kind of want to go and fix the plot. Oh, you know, it would have been so much better if it had gone this way.
Yeah.
That way. You always see alternatives to the story. And that is actually how many writers begin.
And Gregg, let me tell you, I started off with Marvel, reading Marvel comic book back in the day. And I would always try to write the next comic that was coming out in the series, because, you know, their series ran, you know, comic after comic after comic. And I would always try to guess what the next installment of that comic line was going to be. And so that's how I became a writer. That's what got me started writing. And I see, you know, you have similar, similar origin. What's the name of your book? Tell the audience what's the name of your book and what's it about.
Okay, it's called Uncle Zwizzler's Circus Galaxica, and it's about a traveling circus of aliens that travel from planet to planet in the M80 galaxy, and they hit all the human colony planets. And then, of course, the first one, Montvale, is where young Speck is, and he's the main character of the book. He's a human, and he's having some problems with his father. So he escapes aboard the Circus Galaxica one night to look for his mother. She had left the year before, not knowing that. I don't know if I want to give away too much.
Don't give away too much. No. We want people to buy and read the book. So
right.
I love the concept of it.
You're exactly right.
I don't know. I love it.
It's just about his adventures aboard the Circus Galaxica, meeting the new aliens, and there's a racist storyline, you know, kind of with the humans versus the aliens, and I try to clarify all that and ease it. So the book has everything. It has a lot of things for everybody, I believe. So
yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, a lot of people think that you shouldn't write touchy subjects for children, but that's not so. You should, because many children are going through tough times and they need to actually experience a book where it gives them hopefulness.
Sure.
And the thing is, you shouldn't preach to children on things, but you should let them find the moral and the alternatives to life by themselves. And children enjoy that when they figure out things all by themselves.
Correct. You're absolutely right. And this was an important book to write because of that, because I've seen the past few years things devolving in our country, you know, race-wise, and I just wanted to clarify some things and bring some hope. That the book is an overall optimistic book, even though there are bad things in it. But I really think it's an important book. So
yeah, Greg, what kind of special consideration do you give for I wouldn't say children, but let's say young people, because I don't really see your book as a book for a child, let's say 7, 8, 9 years old, but I do see it for a younger person of 12, 13, 14, like that. So how do you kind of like decide on the age group that you're going to be, that will be exposed to this book and that's good for them?
Well, you're absolutely right. The book is meant for early teens, preteens, and I think at that point, children are open and receptive to the ideas of other people. And when you write something like I wrote with Uncle Zwizzler, they can just, you know, identify themselves with what they're reading. And I think it really was effective. You're right. I didn't want to preach and overdo stuff. So that's why you get such a low tone on everything there, but everyone is included. I wanted to make sure everyone is included. Doesn't matter what color you are, you know, what race you are. So that's one of the considerations that I brought up when I was writing it. So
yeah, your point of view in your book is very nice because you wrote it away from an adult point of view, because we tend to become very retrospective while we're living through something, and then we think a lot. We start weighing in on everything that happens around us. We, as a child, a younger person, has an immediate reaction to something, and his reactions were right. Fear, you know, humor, or all those things happened immediately with him. And that is what it makes it so real, that he was going through this himself, not we going through it. So that was, I really appreciated the point of view that you used in the story.
But I also go from character to character with their point of views with each chapter. So you get their insight brought into what Speck is learning as he grows up.
Yes.
So I thought that was very important to do, not just keep it one person, one point of view. I wanted other points of view to be brought in, to be inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was very good because since each of the aliens came from a completely different type of background,
exactly,
and they weren't all in the circus for the same reason. And as you know how circuses are here on Earth and how circuses have evolved here, there are these types of backgrounds that people have kind of like associated with the circus. Like they're running away from something, they're hiding from this, or you know, this kind of thing. And as you described your circus, so many people wasn't running away from anything. They were out to explore the galaxy. They were out to explore different peoples, different settings, and some of them. And there's always that idea that a circus is kind of like a fake world.
Yeah.
In that, you know, like P.T. Barnum said, there's a sucker born every day, you know. So in a circus, what looks to be dangerous or what looks to be is well worked out. There's very little danger involved in the actual performance of the act. But to the crowd, to the people, there was this danger, or there was this person that they perceived one way, but in reality, that character was completely different. And I love the way you brought that out in the story.
I appreciate that, sir. It means a lot to me because that's what I was trying to do and convey, you know, the other points of view. So I really appreciate that.
Yes. Yeah, and the age was right. You did pick the right age, because it's a young person who's about to enter the world. And as we know, whatever is fed in is what's going to come out later on in life, because we're always influenced by what our background is. And this way, you can imagine that one day Speck is going to be a very interesting man, because of the experiences he's had and the support that he eventually finds in his life with all these very diverse. He will be a type of a scientist, an explorer, or anybody like that, who is kind, compassionate, understanding. You can just see it. That is the type of man this boy will eventually be, because of the world he's growing up in.
You're absolutely right. And the question I had for starting a second book, I have a second book in mind, is should I keep him 13? Should I keep him 14? Should I make him 20? You know, I have all these questions before I start writing the second book. So I mean, I have to keep all that in mind, like you said. So you're absolutely right.
Well, let me tell you something, because I went to the circus every year. In New York, the Bowman Bailey Circus used to come around usually once or twice a year. You know,
we went to the Shrine Circus, so every year.
And every time when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old, and we would come back from the circus, and we would always do some dangerous stuff around what we've seen in the circus. You know, it's the trapeze artists, the knife throwing stuff, you know, all these dangerous things. And we all wanted to be some sort of circus performer. So me and my brothers, I grew up with my two brothers, and we would always have this idea once we came back from the circus of, ooh, let's try that. And so if you want to keep them at that same age, yes, that would work very well. But you could also make him older, like if he grew up and took over the circus.
Yeah, that's the ultimate plan. You're right. Yeah, that he does that, ultimately take over the circus. But my question is, how long should it be till he does that? How old should he be? You know, so I've got all these questions I have to answer before I start it.
Yeah. I'll leave that to you. Sorry, I'll leave that to you.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited to read it. So believe it or not, you guys, I have actually never been to a circus.
Wow.
I know. I
only have what a deprived childhood.
I only have the movie, the way that the movies kind of depicted a circus. You know, so I do have a silly question, but do they really have like the red and white, you know, like big tent, and like you go in the tent? Because that would be so much fun for me. I love that.
I've never been in a circus like that. You know, but
ours was in Madison Square Garden, so no, there was no tents. And even down here in Virginia, when they did have the circus come too, because you know the circus kind of like stopped now. It was in another arena too, so. No, I have never been in the circus in a big tent.
Yeah, me neither.
They have lied to
me. In a circus in a big tent. And okay, let me tell you, I like circus and I don't like circus. Yeah. I like any circus where the humans are the performers. I don't like circuses with animals.
Me neither. Me neither.
Completely I love circuses with animals, okay? No, I like to see the elephants and the lions and the tigers and oh wow.
Yeah. Man, I need to look up. I'm gonna have to go. Like, I know that I sound super lame because I've never been to one. But I mean, now my hopes and dreams are crushed because it doesn't have, you know, the big red and white tent, you know, like, you know, I feel like you get the full experience with a circus, man. But no, I mean, this was such a great conversation and I was just rolling with it. I couldn't really give much feedback because I just love listening to you talk, Gregg, and then about your book and everything. And I'm just so excited to read it. I think this is an amazing concept. And I love it. I love the whole like purpose behind it and the creativity and everything. So I cannot wait to read your book. But you guys, this has been a fantastic season 1. I'm so excited that I got to be here with you guys, James, Athena, Gregg. I love it. And you know what? I cannot wait for season 2 of Readers and Writers. So you guys go and follow RockHill Publishing on Facebook. everywhere that they are, because we're going to be announcing when season 2 is starting. So until then, enjoy your summer. This is going to be just fantastic. Get out there, go do fun stuff, but cannot wait to bring you season 2. So until we start season 2, we'll see you then.